also, you and I together may hold a world record for the closest to ever having a series on television and not getting it.
Oh,
It starts from the beginning. So Jesse already had a part, the lead in a series about an ex-wrestler who becomes a policeman and etc. And it was Disney and maybe NBC together. I'm not sure if it's NBC or who it was, but it was Disney. And so, credit to you, Jesse, because I wanted to be in part of the project. It was a great project, and I believed in it. And Jesse said, "Hey, if you go, and see them and do the audition, I got no problem with that," which was very cool for those fans out there that don't know. Normally a wrestler would say, "No, I wouldn't tell you anything," or sabotage you, stuff your bagpipes with toilet paper like Freddie Blassie did to me. But Jesse, not a problem. And then we had to go in, Jesse and myself, to this room where the executives were and do an audition, for lack of a better word. And we got great chemistry. And when we did, we get not only a pilot, but they're going to pick it up. I can't remember if it was 13 episodes or 6. But the name is 6. So, what was it, 6 or 13?
They picked us up for 13, and they even brought in the Magnum PI writing team. Remember that?
They had the writers from Magnum PI.
That's right. So now they decided to have a house in Venice, in California, that they were going to shoot exteriors during the show. And so they said to me, "Hey, if you want to live in the house, we don't got no problem with that." That was very kind of them. So I moved into the house. And Jesse and we went to the office in Disney, and we got our call sheets, and I kind of got to make it up. I don't know, 6:45 next morning, and all right, everything's wonderful, tickety-boo, here we go. We had shot the pilot, and I get back to the house, and I get a phone call from Jesse. "You're not going to believe this." "What?" "We've been put on hold."
They pulled the plug.
Pulled the plug series. And I don't know why. I had heard that Disney, that's why I'm not sure of the second entity. I think it was NBC, but I'm not positive.
No, it was Disney and Coralco.
And I think they had a three
they had a
project
pending
deal.
No, they had a pending lawsuit where they were on opposite sides of a lawsuit, and they were the two people that were producing our show. We got caught in a lawsuit between two entities that had nothing to do with our show other than they were co-producing it, and then they're in legal battle over another thing, so they allowed the whole thing to go right down the toilet.
Oh, jeez. We had a call sheet.
Oh, yeah. And it would have been...
away.
It would have been a great show. Let me give the premise for the people that don't remember Tag Team. It was a great premise. It was going to be like the A-Team. It was not going to be very serious. It was going to be a 7 o'clocker at night. The kids could watch. It was basically this. 2 wrestlers get kicked out of wrestling and they become cops. And it actually came from the idea from a 6-year-old boy. A 6-year-old boy, the writer who wrote the script, was sitting watching wrestling with his son, and he said, "Gee, Dad, wouldn't it be neat to see 2 wrestlers become cops?" And that's how the whole thing started. That was the background on the whole thing. And I needed another wrestler. That's why I had no qualms about bringing Roddy in. Number one, Roddy did a great job in They Live acting, so I knew he could act. And number 2, I needed someone in the ring with me that knew what the hell he was doing. And so it was a natural thing for us two to get together. And I'll tell you, Roddy, if they'd have flown with that, I believe our lives would have changed, because I, to this day, believe Tag Team would have been a huge hit.
Me too. I believe that we would have opened up a lot of doors for a lot of other people, but for ourselves and our families, because there was no egos, none at all. We all went in with our hearts.
Well, and the other thing too,
just like the pilot, you and I did all our own stunts, so they didn't even have to do hard cuts for stuntmen. Because when we jumped off of buildings, we did it ourselves.
That's right. They actually felt, and this is Hollywood, they felt so bad they got us a massage.
Yeah,
they never
right.
did anything.
Yeah, remember that? We did all our own stunts, so they gave us a massage at the end of the day. I remember that now. Oh, God.
It's got to be the closest to having a series and not getting it in the history of Hollywood. I don't know how much closer you can get.
Yeah, when they and I'd heard they had already spent $1 million. They had already spent $1 million on the set and everything else, and they just let it flush right down the toilet in a way, and that was the end of that. And there went our pilot, and there went history, I guess. Roddy, if you think about it, had tag team went, I probably would have never been governor.
That's correct. If tag team had took off, your life and my life would have taken completely different directions. In my case, much for the better. And in your case, I don't know. Having the will and the intelligence and the ability to make yourself the governor of a state with the background of pro wrestling and, of course, the service that you did for our country. Nobody else has ever done it before. So I don't know that if it would have changed your life for the better, but it would have mine anyway, and I was hanging on.
Like I said, Roddy, both our lives would have changed drastically, because I highly doubt I would have ever gone into politics, because, that show happened in the 90s, the early 90s, so I wouldn't have been mayor, and the chances of me ever going for governor probably, if that pilot would have gone and we'd had a series, our lives would have been completely different.
Oh,
amazing.
Man.
Totally
yeah,
amazing
stuff. They knew folks are finding out right now, like, what goes on behind the scenes and how much we put into things and how quickly they take them.